Amines. Amines are a huge group of substances that we find in food. They're found in so many different foods, as you'll see on the next slide. They're also produced within the body to actually work as a communication messenger. So serotonin, as I mentioned earlier, adrenaline, as we all know, that gets us fired up. They're also amines. Some migraine sufferers actually have a reduced ability to process these amines within the body, and therefore they can be linked to triggering a migraine. The foods that amines are found in are all of these foods that anybody who's suffered from a headache or a migraine and look up on Dr. Google or talk to any of their friends, it's the first foods that people will start to mention. And I can't believe I haven't put chocolate up here, because that's one of the foods. Aged cheeses, in fact, any foods that aren't particularly fresh, so cured meats, smoked fish, aged cheese, all of those may have high, or do have high levels of amines in them. And they're different types, but still they're all part of the same family and all processed in the same way within the body. Anything that's fermented, so alcohol, beer, wine, things like soya sauce, miso, if anyone's on that healthy diet and trying to, have a good healthy soup, miso might be triggering it. Sauerkraut, not that a huge amount of people eat sauerkraut over here, but it is another consideration. Yeast extract, vinegars, pickles. They're all foods that have been fermented, they've been degraded, broken down, and their amine levels are much, much higher. Shellfish, any fish that has literally been, well, not hanging around, because obviously we don't eat fish that's been left out of the water for too long, but any fish that isn't absolutely fresh. The minute the fish is caught and dies, it starts to break down and the amine levels increase. And then all these amazing other healthy foods. Oranges, grapefruit, strawberries, raspberries, bananas, plums, the list goes on. Avocados, spinach, apricots. So you could be doing your best to eat a really, really healthy diet and inadvertently topping up your amine levels and putting yourself in a place that's triggering your migraines if this is the root cause. It's so important to start with a food diary, because this will really help you to understand what's going on, and if not you, then at least your GP or any other health professional that you go to. From a nutrition standpoint, vitamins and minerals such as zinc, B6, magnesium, they're all required to process amines in the body. So if we eat them, or if we've used serotonin to send a message and we need to break it down and get rid of it from the body, those particular minerals are used to process the amines within the body, as well as sulfur. So there's quite a few at play. The other consideration is that high levels of estrogens actually interact with an enzyme that breaks down these amines. So again, going back to the first slide, if fluctuations in female hormones are at play here, then it might be linking back into the diet that you're eating. The thing to realize about amines is that it may not just be that one food that triggers your headache or your migraine. It might be an accumulation that actually you get beyond a threshold and then you have a migraine. So actually removing some of those foods, looking at how you're processing the amines within the body, you can bring the levels back down again and then just perhaps eat the odd one of those foods on occasion. Again, the purpose of this evening was to be your own food detective, your own detective, give you some tools that might help you work out which is a therapy that may help you manage your migraines or your headaches. So if you've got low levels of zinc, then other symptoms may be things like loss of taste, loss of smell, loss of hair, loss of appetite, or slow wound healing if you get a cut and it takes a while to heal. B6, all the B vitamins work so tightly together. It's very, very hard to just pinpoint one deficiency or low-level symptom. But a few of them are listed up there. They tend to pertain to skin and lips and hair as well. Sulfur, anyone who's a vegan, very rare in Ireland, but anyone who is a vegan will find it quite hard to get sulfur in their diet. Sulfur tends to be found anywhere that's a rich source of protein, such as meats and eggs. So if you're a vegan and you're avoiding those sorts of foods, sulfur is quite hard to get in your diet. These are just some symptoms that may help you try and work out a picture of what's going on. It's ill-advised to go out there and start taking any of these as a supplement, buying it straight off the shelf, because you don't know if it interacts with some of the drugs you're on. So it's always worth talking to your health professional. As a rule, I tend to write to GPs or consultants to really try and help or to work in an interactive and collaborative way. So we ensure that we don't end up with a situation where you're taking a vitamin or a mineral that's contraindicated on a medication. Taking it back to gut health, a slight detour, but there is a link also to an overgrowth of a bacteria found within the stomach, Helico pylori bacteria, and that's been linked to peptic ulcers, and a high level or an overgrowth of that bacteria has been linked to ulcers. So some people find that if they eradicate that bacteria, then actually the incidence of their migraines reduces significantly as well. The other point is that bacteria in the gut can produce amines. So it's another source of amines coming into the body. Not only are you taking them in the form of food, but any fermentation going on in the gut, because you've got some bad bacteria growing down there, may lead to an increased absorption of amines from the gut. So it's worth considering, is your stomach working properly? Have you got any signs of digestive ill health? And those are just some of them. So are you experiencing any bloating or flatulence or burping or heartburn? If you have blood or mucus in the stool, it's very advisable that you go and talk to your GP or consultant straight away. Loss of appetite, diarrhea, nausea, constipation, those are all symptoms that your gut's not working at 100%, and maybe it's worth considering looking at getting that up to scratch, working as best it can. Okay, so thanks very much.